quick head kick there from Zentgraf. Again, Ring is normally the longer opponent. Even though he's shorter, he still has the good reach.
Both fighters exchanging kicks.
There's that snap. Again, knee up and then the snap out.
Makes it harder to place that kick when it comes in. And that's why it clipped the chin. Nice teep there from Nick.
Ring cutting off the cage, catching the kick, and landing a good right hand to Jason Zentgraf. Now some knees as Zentgraf pushes him up against the cage.
Zentgraf has Ring up against the cage. Ring reverses position and puts the younger fighter up against the cage, but Zentgraf doing some good jobs landing some knees, some dirty boxing in there. Got the elbow. Ring looking for the takedown. Two hands under and does get it. A guillotine attempt from Zentgraf given up though.
Zentgraf's going to try and work his hand in and get those hands locked, and it looks like the hands are locked underneath.
The arm in guillotine attempt on Nick Ring. Right here in front of our broadcast position, Jason Zentgraf trying to find a hole. Ring, though, doing a good job. Jeremy is stacking the weight up and releasing the pressure. Now Zentgraf giving up the hold.
Well, I'm giving up the hold because he doesn't want to burn his arms out. There's no point in squeezing too tough and then not having the ability to do it later on in the night. And Nick Ring with a top position, and this is where Nick Ring is very dangerous because he likes to posture up and then come down with good, solid, short elbows.
Again, up against the cage, Nick Ring on top. Zentgraf trying to spin out of it. Ring holding that position, trying to find an opening. Landing a couple punches here from the top.
These are big punches coming from Nick Ring. They're not landing clean, but they are doing some damage. Again, good half guard for Nick Ring, trying to get out to the side, but Zentgraf doing an excellent job of getting him back into full guard.
Zentgraf has Ring in the guard, but Ring on top looking to continue to do damage. Snuck a right hand through a moment ago. Again, trying to posture up, trying to find room. Two more rights. Now coming back with elbows, Zentgraf. Ring continuing to work from the top here, Jeremy, trying to find an opening. And as it says there, make sure you check out our app for lots of behind-the-scenes action, as well as fight replays and photos that you won't get anywhere else, available on both Apple and Android devices.
Good continuity here from Nick Ring. Every time that Zentgraf tries a way to defend him, Nick Ring is stopping him, and now a little bit of a can-opener position. This puts a lot of pressure on the neck, and what it does is opens it up for those elbows. But again, a nice dangerous position here for Zentgraf, throwing those feet up, trying to isolate an arm. But Nick Ring, the newly minted black belt in jiu-jitsu, is able to stuff it now, a front hand and arm position, and Zentgraf able to get standing. Good work by Zentgraf to get away from the dangerous position that Nick Ring was going in. Wow, that kick just missed.
Yeah, looking for the front kick, Jason Zentgraf, and Nick Ring dodging it again and coming back and punishing Zentgraf for the second attempt at that big front kick.
That was a good left hand from Nick Ring.
Ring's hands down, almost daring Zentgraf to come in. But again, still landing punches.
In on the legs is Nick Ring. Again, going to try and finish. He switched over to a single leg to get good position. Got to get the head out because he recognizes the danger. And there's a nice double by Nick Ring. Again, locking the hands in behind the butt of Jason Zentgraf and then getting good solid position on the young fighter. 8-2 is Jason Zentgraf. Nick Ring has been in a good dominant position for most of this first round.
Yeah, Ring continuing to work on top as he has for the better part of round number one. Also landing the better of the striking. Jason Zentgraf getting a taste of what a UFC veteran will bring to the cage, as Nick Ring has certainly won round one here with short time left. former UFC fighter Nick Ring looking to get his way back there. Jason Zentgraf looking to use him as a stepping stone on his own way to the sport's highest level. And Nick Ring now answering a high head kick with a leg kick of his own. Zentgraf, Jeremy, has tried the head kick 5 times so far, landing 2, but none with any danger.
Well, and again, Nick Ring, as tough as they come in regards to not getting finished in fights, and there's another double leg. And one of the criticisms of Ring earlier in his UFC career was his inability to be able to take his opponents down. Excellent jiu-jitsu and excellent striking, but the inability to take them down. It seems that he's really worked on that, committed to the wrestling, and has done an excellent job of taking Jason Zentgraf down so far in this fight.
Well, it's interesting, Jeremy, when we talked to Jason Zentgraf before, he said he expected Nick Ring to be a sprawl and brawl finish based on the fact that all of Zentgraf's wins as a professional have come via submission. It's been exactly the opposite. It's been Ring pushing the action and getting the takedowns and working the ground on the ground game to his effectiveness.
There's some more short elbows being landed by Nick Ring. He's swarming up. He's going to try and step over and get a mount position, but the position that Zentgraf is in, it makes it so that Nick can't make the big step, but content to stay in half guard right now and land some short elbows. Zentgraf has been doing a great job of avoiding the main damage. He hasn't really been hit by anything, but Nick has been dominating most of the fight so far.
So Nick Ring continues to work from the top position. And again, still working here on the top, containing the younger Jason Zentgraf. And again, it's similar, Jeremy, to round 1, where Nick Ring was on top for the vast majority of the round and was able to just find strikes as they opened up in the defenses of Zentgraf.
Still trying to work those short elbows is Nick Ring, and again, that's something he's been known for, and he has the ability with those elbows. They're very sharp, so they do induce cuts quite easily, and this is a position that he wants to be in right now, where he can posture up and lay down shots. But now an arm isolated from Zentgraf. With all of his wins coming by submission, Nick Ring must be aware of this position if he wants to continue being dominant in this fight. And now landing 2 good shots is Nick Ring as he avoids the danger of Zentgraf's armbar.
Nick Ring continuing to try and find an opening here against Jason Zentgraf, maybe looking for a submission win of his own. And 13-3 on his professional career, including fights in the UFC. And Nick Ring is continuing here to show that veteran poise on top of Jason Zentgraf.
Good positioning by Ring. And it's not necessarily about landing everything all at once. If you can take your time, position so that when you do land, you land 3 or 4 really good shots, and then back to neutral, back to resetting yourself so that you're never in danger, especially with a dangerous fighter like Zentgraf. Zentgraf still trying to work and isolate an arm, but has eaten some big elbows, and you can see a mouse underneath the right eye of Zentgraf now.
And again, another big elbow. And it looks like Nick Ring so far is just picking his spots, waiting for the opportunity, and then landing a big strike. Short time left in round number 2 of 3. Under a minute to go here, and it's been all Ring in this fight so far. Jason Zentgraf has been on the bottom and has been taking punishment to this point in the fight.
They're doing an okay job. The punishment that he's taken is Nick Ring has had to work very hard, and he's only really landing 1 out of every 4 or 5 shots that he takes. Zentgraf now back up against the wall, but Ring immediately tries to go for the takedown. Needs to keep this dangerous fighter down because he sees the kicks. Now has the back of Jason Zentgraf, and eating some elbows for good measure.
Responds with knees. Does Ring. And again, Zentgraf is up against the cage. Nick Ring really, Jeremy, seems to be using his weight to his advantage, really out-wrestling Zentgraf to this point, holding him down.
It also looks like the conditioning of Nick Ring is very good. That was something that was really troubling in his couple decision losses. It just ran out of energy, but he looks very fresh, looks as fresh as he did at the beginning of the fight.
As Zentgraf again looking for that high head kick and was unable to connect. Ring at this point has got to be looking at just not wanting to make that fatal decision or a fatal error and find himself on the wrong end of one of those head kicks or walking into a strike and getting himself knocked out. While he's never been finished to this point in his MMA career, every guy that has that about them is just one punch away from having that not be the case anymore.
Nick is doing an excellent job of countering Zentgraf anytime he comes close, and like you mentioned, doesn't look to be rushing in there. Good job avoiding that kick. Just a simple back step, avoids that kick, and he's keeping it range. Anytime that Zentgraf comes in, that's when Nick is starting to engage in counterpunch. But Zentgraf, for knowing he's down two, is continuing to push forward. So no quit in this young man.
Yeah, it seems like Nick Ring has stepped into a counterpuncher's role at this point, just waiting back for Zentgraf to throw a punch and then finding a hole to answer. And you see a counterpunch there as, again, Zentgraf trying to move forward, trying to find a hole in the defenses of Nick Ring. And Ring just standing there with his hands down, and Zentgraf unable to connect. Big elbows here coming to the side of Nick Ring's head, and trying for the trip. Zentgraf doing a good job of using those long legs to prevent the takedown. So Ring has both hands. He had them both under the bus, if you will, but having to give that up. Now he's locked him back under. We'll see if he can secure the takedown.
And leaning on his opponent, making sure that Jason Zentgraf eats the weight. And these elbows, although they are kind of annoying, they're not hitting with the point, but those ones are. Now Ring switching to the other side, and Zentgraf trying to jump off the cage and land himself in a guillotine position, and he finds himself there right now, but the arm in is going to make it very tough for him to tap out Nick Ring.
And arm in guillotine here for Jason Zentgraf. Ring again very patient, 2.5 minutes to go in this third and final round.
Nick Ring's head pops out, and now he's back on top like he was the majority of round one and round two, and trying to look to finish this fight. Some welts on the back of Jason Zentgraf where those big left hands of Nick Ring have been landing. And there's another one right there, right to the midsection of Zentgraf.
And again, Ring continuing to push forward on the ground, trying to find an opening. Zentgraf will be looking for the submission here. Again, 8 wins by submission in his pro career, but Nick Ring doing a good job now of trying to pass. And Jeremy, it looks like he's in the half guard, and it looked like he tried to get to the side control, but Zentgraf doing a good job of holding that leg in and preventing that move.
It's very important for Jason Zentgraf for the remainder of this fight. If he's to have a chance in this fight, he cannot let Nick Ring get to side control. If Nick Ring is in side control, he's extremely dangerous because he will neutralize an arm and then land short elbows onto the chin of Jason Zentgraf. Zentgraf now with an open guard on Nick Ring. Nick Ring pressuring in, pushing his head up against the face of Zentgraf and pushing Zentgraf's head into the cage, making it so that Zentgraf has very limited options on how to deal with this situation.
So again, no power from the bottom from Zentgraf. Not going to finish the fight with a knockout from that position. Is looking to finish the fight with a submission, but Nick Ring not offering him any opportunities to do so. And with a minute left in round number 3, Nick Ring looking to finish this one off and succeed in his comeback fight here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship.
Nice rush there from Nick Ring. He's going to land a couple of shots. Zentgraf trying to remain busy from the bottom, perhaps stealing a round or stealing some points or two away from this good position by Nick Ring. Zentgraf trying everything to be able to get out and work one of those submissions, including throwing a leg up. Now he has a triangle position. Dangerous, but Nick Ring able to get out of that position and dealt with the position before anything else.
Yeah, just short time now left in the third and final round. Again, trying to push out, trying to find a hole, Jason Zentgraf unable to do so, and now just very short time on the clock. Nick Ring looks to have succeeded in his comeback fight and win here. We'll see what the judges say though in just a moment.